Hello and welcome back everybody to another video. Today I want to address the situation that happened at the US Capitol just 2 days ago. It already feels weird to say 2 days because it does not feel like it was 2 days ago. It feels like it was like yesterday or even like earlier today. But and the reason I want to do this is because I said a while ago now, actually, that I did want to get into politics on this channel, and so I feel like right now might be a time to do that. I just want to say my take on the US Capitol storming. And I know if you are watching this and you are on the right side of the political spectrum, or you're conservative, or you're Republican, or whatever, I know the flag in the background is probably gonna want you to not want to listen to me, but please listen to me. I have throat issues sometimes. But anyway, my take on the US Capitol storming is that I believe this was a miserable and just god-awful display on almost all parties involved, except for, obviously the senators and the representatives currently in Congress during the storming. Um, it was awful on the part of the protesters. They're actually rioters and terrorists, in my view. But it was an awful display for them because, like, if they really wanted to do something to change the like they didn't do anything. They went in there and roamed around, caused some violence and chaos, and then, didn't actually do anything else. Like, honestly, if you were really pissed off about the election and you really honestly thought the election was rigged, I feel like you probably would have done more. But that's just my take on it. Also, it was a miserable display on the law enforcement of DC, because how could you possibly let like that crowd get into the Capitol building? The Capitol of the United States is supposed to be heavily guarded, I would think, because that's where a bunch of the representatives and senators are. So, or usually are, and coming and going through, so I would assume that they would have to protect that building to keep them safe from anyone who, say, might want to hurt them, like you saw 2 days ago at the storm. So, I think the police really failed. The law enforcement failed miserably, because DC had to call in foreign help from Maryland and Virginia and the Pentagon was slow to act on protecting the freaking capital of our country. That says something, not just to the people of our country, saying that our law enforcement isn't, effective, first of all, and it's effective on the wrong group of people, but it's also showing something to foreign nations, showing that our country isn't as strong as we portray it to be, and other countries can take advantage of that. Like I saw on Twitter yesterday, the president of Zimbabwe tweeted, all these world leaders were condemning what was happening, and even the president of Zimbabwe decided to tune in and say something about how President Trump last year, I think it was, imposed an embargo on their nation because their democracy was not, safe or fragile, or, safe or strong enough, or something along those lines. And then they were calling for the embargo to be removed because obviously our democracy isn't very safe or strong, according to what happened 2 days ago. And I feel like this is a very, I mean, obviously everyone can say this. This is a very, very dark time in American history. What happened 2 days ago, well, I feel, as I can agree with one of what the senators said, because I was watching a lot of it when the senators were doing the Electoral College certification process, that January, what is it now? January 6th, 2 days ago, 2021, will live alongside one of the few dates in American history that will be forever known, like the Pearl Harbor attacks and other dates, like I can't actually think of right now, but off the top of my head anyway. But yeah, and yeah, also September 11th, like. This will live alongside probably one of those, I mean, those few other dates forever in American history as a time where American democracy was directly threatened by Americans themselves. Like far-right extremists who, I could tell not everyone in the crowd wanted to commit violence. There was a very, like, varying group of people, all of which were Republican, all of which were Trump supporters, and all of which were right-wing, but there was a very difference of right-wing. There was somewhat, I mean, not moderate, I wouldn't say moderate, because Trump supporters are not moderate in my eyes, but moderate for a Trump supporter, all the way to extreme far-right, people literally having shirts saying Auschwitz on them, and abbreviations saying things like 6 million wasn't enough. Storming our U.S. Capitol. That is just not okay. And I don't care what part, where you are on the political spectrum, and what you identify with, that is not okay. It's not. And the senators, after they reconvened that night, for the most part agreed. And that was something I never thought I would honestly see in any time. Like, I don't, it makes me speechless almost. It's not something I would ever have believed to be a thing that would happen, where even super conservative Republicans in the Senate were like, this is not okay, and we're gonna drop our accusation, or our objection to the Electoral College, which is kind of funny to me, because that just shows that the crowd storming the Capitol did the exact opposite of what they wanted to do. They wanted to delay the process of Joe Biden's victory, and they wanted to, if at all possible, stop it entirely, I feel, because they feel Trump's loss in the election was stolen from Trump, which it wasn't. It was millions upon millions of more popular vote for Joe Biden than it was for Trump. It was an absolute, in a way, landslide victory. Electoral college-wise, it wasn't a complete landslide, but it was still a big enough margin that even if, like, 2 states were to have flipped back to Trump, it would still be a Biden victory. So, I feel like that's a pretty safe victory for Democrats there. Yeah. This is a really bad time for our country, and the whole world is watching, and there's nothing more I can say that other people haven't already said on social media or in speeches or whatnot. But this was just an awful incident display encouraged by President Trump himself just a little bit of time before this happened. Like, obviously, I support peaceful protest. And I support peaceful protest no matter which political party is doing it. They were Trump supporters. I'm completely fine with them peacefully protesting, doing what they did, marching down the streets of DC, marching to the Capitol. Everything there, completely fine. I'm okay with. Marching up to the barricades of the Capitol and chanting, completely A-okay. That is their constitutional right. However, the second they started trying to breach the barricades and march even closer to the Capitol against the law enforcement's wishes, that was the second they lost their right. That was the second they forfeited their right to protest. Because it was no longer peaceful. They were now forcing their way through the barricades and into the Capitol and onto the Capitol, first of all, which being on Capitol grounds is illegal in the first place, let alone trying to break down the doors and shatter windows and get into the Capitol. Like, that was mind-blowing to me when I was watching it. I was in, class virtually, like, in my algebra class virtually when this was happening, and on my other monitor while I was in class, I was just watching the Electoral College certification going, oh, this is going to be a cool thing to watch and to, like, you know, have experienced in my lifetime. This will be cool. But little did I know, when people came into the Senate chamber and grabbed the vice president and rushed Pence away, little did I know there was something fucking really going down outside. I did not know what was happening. I just kind of thought it was a normal thing because I didn't really understand. You know, I don't really understand fully what's going the process of Senate, you know, of the Senate, I guess. But yeah, that's just my take, and I wanted to use this opportunity kind of to just say my take on the U.S. Capitol storming and get into discussing politics more on this channel, which I did promise I would do a little bit ago and still haven't done until obviously now. But do expect me to probably talk more about politics in the future. If you guys liked this video, of course, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell, of course, for more videos like this and to get notifications so you don't miss out. Because a lot of people that have subscribed to me don't get notifications. So yeah, I'll make sure that bell is hit and you're subscribed if you like it and want to continue watching my videos. Obviously, you don't have to. That's just your personal choice. Same with politics. But, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!